In this morning's You Want to Know, it's all about personal injury. There's only one person we ask for all those questions. Keeping you safe and informed is John Grazian of Grazian and Volpe. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Pretty good. I noticed that the dog, you're right at home with him. You gave him his little chew toy just a second ago. Because
Yes.
you're a proud dog, Papa. See?
Of three.
Bless your heart. All right, let's get to our first question, see how we can help some people today. The first one comes from Amanda in Wheaton, and she asks this. I was shocked when I saw this. I was in an accident, and while I was in the hospital, a lawyer I didn't know came to see me, and I signed up with him. Now I'm having second thoughts. What can I do? Okay, lawyers really do. I thought that was just a joke about the ambulance chasers.
Well, they're not supposed to do it. It's illegal, it's unethical, and really you shouldn't hire any lawyer that solicits your business.
Right.
If they're willing to break the rules from the start, you don't want them representing you.
For sure.
You really need somebody that you can trust and somebody you feel comfortable with.
Right.
As far as changing lawyers, firing your lawyer, basically you are the employer, the lawyer is the employee, he works for you. So if you're not satisfied with your lawyer, you can go ahead and fire him at any time. That's your absolute right to do so. In the case of personal injury where the lawyer is working on a contingency fee, meaning he doesn't get paid until he achieves results for you, you're not going to have to pay him anything. If he's owed anything, your new lawyer, that'll come out of his fee or her fee. So, you know, if you're not satisfied with your lawyer, go ahead and find somebody. It's important to, you know, get somebody you trust, get somebody you feel comfortable with.
Yeah, and somebody who's not breaking the law.
And somebody who's not breaking the law.
I didn't realize that was against the law. I thought it was just kind of a joke that people made about some lawyers.
I don't know how anybody would have the guts to do that, to walk into a stranger's hospital room, but I've seen it happen. I've had clients who've been in the hospital called me and said, John, you know, there's some guy here that I don't know. Did you send him? No?
Ew,
Yeah.
That's just creepy.
It is.
Okay, we've got another question. This one comes from Matt of Displays, and here's Matt's question. This is something that affects a lot of people. My mom's in a nursing home, and lately I've noticed she seems to be deteriorating. What is the nursing home required to do for her under the law, and how do I know if she's getting proper care? And that's a hard one because you never know if they're just getting sicker or if it's somebody's fault.
That's true. And basically, if something doesn't look right to you, it probably isn't right. So the first thing you should do is you should be an advocate. Ask questions. If something doesn't look right or something looks out of place, bring it to the attention of the people who can deal with it. But, you know, as far as who may be liable, things like that, nursing homes are very heavily regulated. They're regulated in terms of, for instance, the amount of staffing they have to have, the activities that they have to provide for their residents, things like wound care, all sorts of things. So sanitation, obviously, but if you see things that don't look right, you know,
you can report them,
and then
they may also be liable.
Yes, that's true. And also, if you report it, if you make a complaint, the state will come out and investigate, and they'll not only investigate your complaints, but they'll investigate the nursing home and prepare a report.
Okay, so they may or may not need a lawyer right away, but they could eventually need one, is what you're saying here? Okay.
Yes.
And we have one last question. It comes from Walt in Aurora, and here's what Walt writes. I was in an accident with an 18-wheeler, a semi-truck. Are there any special laws that apply to trucks, or is it just the same as any other auto accident?
Well, there are some special laws that apply to trucks.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Sure. I mean, again, it's a very heavily regulated industry. There are rules, for instance, as to how long, how many hours a driver can drive. There are all kinds of safety and maintenance schedules for trucks, things like that. So any violation of any of these types of standards or customs or practices can create liability for the truck driver, down to how they load the load, how heavy the truck is, whether it's overweight, things like that. And really, with truck accidents, there's so many different regulations that apply to trucks. You know, if you're interested, and I actually have about a dozen blogs on my website, which you can go and read. And
you should probably go have a lawyer like you who specializes in that or who has some experience with it.
Yes,
Is that what you're saying?
because there are regulations that are very unique to trucks that don't necessarily apply to cars or your average auto accident.
Right. Well, Walt, I'm glad you survived the accident, though, because, honey, I'm going to tell you, I wouldn't want to tangle with one of those.
They're usually bad.
Yeah, for real. All right, John Grazian from Grazian and Volpe, thanks so much. Always great to see you. And if you have any questions for John, you can always call or visit him. All his information is right on your screen. And there's a new partner at Grazian and Volpe who's coming in. He's put on his tie.
got his business suit.
He's got his business suit and he's ready
new
to go.
associate.
Matches you.
And he works cheap.
It's really cheap. You can work him like a dog.